Hello everybody, Shinjo here, welcome back to the channel, and another tier list. This time I am ranking Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush characters. So the second season of Go Rush has just finished, and I thought just as a benchmark to see how I feel about these characters before the third season happens, and see if my taste changed on a couple of these characters. Are going to be spoilers for Go Rush, so in case you aren't watching Go Rush or are not familiar with Go Rush, there are going to be minor spoilers for 7s, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. Speaking of keeping things simple, I can easily delete the E tier, because why do I need the E tier? And I changed things. I made the bottom tier the Who tier, because realistically, there are characters here that I don't know, don't care. Like, for example, this one. I think this may be the mystery girl that Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything is always talking about, but I don't know for sure. If I don't know, they're going in that tier. And where is it? I know it was down here. Oh, these three. I saw these three in the tier list. I kind of remember them. I remember seeing them, but like, why do I care? At least everybody else in the tier list I can say that I'm actually familiar with more or less. Doesn't mean that they're good. But let's begin with Neanderstar. Neanderstar is an interesting one because unfortunately always paired with Manabu, and that is not a good look. I think Neanderstar is probably like right down the middle. Nothing really too horrendous, nothing really stand out. Manabu's just gonna go a tier below. Manabu started off strong, but just kind of fell flat. And it may be because he's more or less the Gakuto variant that I have high expectations, but he just honestly turned into a punching bag. But no more of a punching bag than Chupataro, who is absolutely bottom tier. The fact that characters in universe clown on Chupataro just says everything that you need to know. But I'm gonna save the more important characters like Zuijo, Yuhi, and even Udius for later. So we're jumping to Kawaii Tell. Probably C tier as well, but certainly above Manabu. Unfortunately, the only thing much that I can say with Kawaii Tell, besides the fact that he's really smart, is every joke that is involved with Kawaii Tell is, I'm parched, I need water. It's funny. And on the subject of things that aren't funny, the Luke's butler, I do not like him at all. The fact that he needs to repeat jokes that weren't even funny in the first place, not a good look. So next up, Valvagear. I never thought that I'd be ranking Valvagear here, although to be fair, Kamos is here too. Valvagear is probably going to be a B tier, and that's only because of the most recent arc. Meeg-chan, can you really call Meeg-chan a character? I think I still prefer Meeg-chan over Manabu, even with the little screen time that it has. It kind of gives me vibes of like Dark Magician Girl in a sense where a character is infatuated with it. It's a character now, apparently. So, it's a whole thing. And I'm keeping up with Go Rush. I don't even know how I can explain it. Mitsuko. It turns into a bit of a joke with Mitsuko, especially when it involves Mitsuko and Zuijo. But it's a bit of a funnier joke than Manabu. But at least Mitsuko has standout moments in the positive sense. And on that note, I saw the Big Sister goalpost, whatever. I think the benchmark is if I like you better than Manabu, honestly. Again, it feels bad that I have to have Manabu as a benchmark, but realistically, like I said, he just turns into a punching bag. And on that note, everybody from UTS, they are probably all just gonna go above. Am I missing anybody? Oh yeah, there. I didn't realize there were this many in UTS, but I guess we don't really get much development for them. Where's Tazaki? I know that Tazuki has to be here. There he is. Tazuki's easily gonna be at the top. Probably next to, whatever her name is. The one that's a reference to Princess G, basically. Everybody else in UTS can really take him or leave him. But up next is London and Manya. I will say this much. London, just the VA in the sub is fun regardless, just because of how wacky it sounds. I think they're probably just gonna go right about there. Honestly, I'm not really stressing over them, and I kind of consider it a package deal, even though there were times that Manya wasn't involved when London was there, or vice versa. And at the same time, even though Manya is the Mimi variant, it's actually impressive that Manya actually got a win. Unfortunately, it kind of derailed her character for a time, and on that moment where I know I saw that there's a dinosaur dude. I think just by comparison, I like him more than Manya, because the episode where those two dueled, Manya just trashed on him and she went missing for a good 30% of the show. Make with that what you will. Oh yeah, right, I completely forgot about Bochi. Bochi's okay. Probably just the top of C tier, honestly. Nothing really amazing, nothing really bad. Although, to be quite honest, I do think I like Bochi more than Neanderstar. Nothing personal with the characters, I just tend to lean more towards dogs than cats. Let's save Asaka. Let's go with the Jersey Bros. The Jersey Bros... Actually, I am going to do that. Mainly because the Jersey Bros actually have some endearing qualities to them. Luke's Butler and Chupataro do not. And then Asaka... Sokka might actually be a very low A for me. Fisher Sky may be higher if he was used more, or they were used more, but unfortunately, he's just not. And then the reporters, I'm just gonna put them in the Who tier. I know I just explained who they are, and on that note, these two, I know who they are more or less. I couldn't tell you their names, but if I can't even tell you much about their character overall besides their reporters or this, that, and the other, tells you everything you need to know. See, and that's the thing I can say about characters like Manabu, for example, where Manabu has kind of been on a derail for the longest time in the show. But at least with that, it's something to talk about. Crap, what's the name? Kamos and the sightseer prediction sort of dude. I don't know. They were funny in the episode that they came back, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care about them overall, but yeah, they're just gonna go there. And I have to rank the lobster. Really? I mean, like, I like you more than Chupataro. I probably like you more than the Jersey Devils, but still. Oh wait, I completely forgot. This isn't Kamos. That's Kamos. You know what? I'm just gonna put you here too anyway. I don't actually remember what this one's name is off the top of my head. But, yeah. Let's see. So we're skipping them. Ron. Ron's just gonna go a low B. I do think Ron needs a bit of an upgrade, which unfortunately going into season 3 doesn't look like it's going to be happening for the time being. But Ron started off, and to be quite frank, she knows nothing about dueling. I don't think that she got a win at all. And she was presented as some sort of big threat, and she just wasn't. And then, Ishidabadu, I do not like you. Is there anybody else that I can easily place in a tier? I don't really, I mean, Yukio? The character that dueled one time? The Diane Keto Prison Master? The fish? At least I can even say for Tremolo's cuties, at least I can say that they've been around. The fish guy is just... he's something else. But let's get these ones rapid fire. Roman is probably just going to be B tier. I think she's definitely been better the longer the show has been going on. But overall, it's just been kind of there. I do think I like her about that much. Go Hyuna is absolutely going to go in A tier. The fact that I did not like her when she started in the show, just her quick turnaround, her gradual turnaround and everything, especially involving spoilers from Sevens, was really cool to see. Although, to be quite honest, I don't know why I'm sugarcoating it, because you can see him right here. Bad rap, sure, put you right about there. I'm not going to be really stressing over it. Zion. Zion's probably going to be another A tier. Lug is probably going to be a B tier. Zion has just been really strong and another good role that essentially a Nail variant has been involved in. Nail in Sevens was good. Zion and Go Rush is good. Lug I put a little bit lower because Lug, all of his lines boil down to, that's cold, that's freezing. I get it, you use ice. It's not funny anymore. What crap, what's your name? Muda? Muda's gonna go there. And Dinhwa, that's it. Dinhwa, I think I'll put Dinhwa right there as well. Honestly, if it wasn't for the last duel that Dinhwa was in, I'd probably put Dinhwa a lot lower, but that last duel certainly saved her. And the fact that the duels have been a lot more intense is really helpful. Shubaha was fine. Can't really say much about him one way or the other. I think... crap, what's his name? The Thinker. The Ponderer, I can't think of what his name is. You can see him right here. And I'll know his name after I'm done recording this. But I like him more than Manabu. So, Damamu? I do still think there's more to Damamu's character. I hope that there's more that shows up in the show. But until then, I'm putting Damamu in B tier. The Ryugu brothers, Phaser, Tremolo, they're just gonna go B tier. They were really menacing in the arc they were involved in, but they just kind of turned into a joke, especially Tremolo. And on that note, his cuties, that's not the best way to explain them, but that's how he explains him in the canon. I'll do it like that, but I will rank them like that, because I'm sure everybody watching this video is wondering my take on Tremolo's cuties and how I rank them. Now I don't need to make a separate video for it. Yuga and Kaizo, I don't remember where I put Yuga at before in the 7th video. I think right about there. Kaizo I like more than Manabu. Heard me say that a million times. Kawaii Duel, I think Kawaii Duel is one of the more threatening villains, especially in recent history. He's just really cool, and the fact that he is voiced by Aoi Todo from JJK is really wild. Now, Epoch. Epoch is a character who lies during duels, fibs her dice rolls, and with all of that, I like her more than Manabu. Honestly, it's not surprising that most of these characters are middle of the road for me, because they're just kind of middle. And I didn't necessarily mean to use the word road when Yuga's right here, but we're rolling with it. So let's start with Udius, actually. Udius is going to go in A tier. I think there was a time where Udius was a solid character, but the more it went on, the more it kind of turned into him taking a back seat, him turning into a joke. The episode where Zion and Yuhi dueled where Udius was just on the massage chair the whole episode, just turned into a lot of nothing for the longest time. But I think the more recent episodes have certainly helped him. On that note, I think for Zuijo, I know I normally save this, but I don't think I have a problem putting Zuijo in S tier automatically. A really solid character, a really solid rival. I love his voice, I love his cards that he uses. Just all around really solid. Now for the Odo twins. So I think it's going to be a bit of an opposite parallel for the two, where Yuhi was the joke for the longest time in the show, and Yuumu was the more competent one. But Yuhi just turned into essentially the main character, it feels like. Just all the standard shonen tropes, Yuhi's involved in. The most recent episode, he's doing the standard anime pose lying in the grass. It's just, Yuhi just kind of overshadows all the other main characters in the show for the longest time. And I think if it wasn't for that, I would have no problem putting him in A tier. But I think for the time, I'm going to put him very high B. And there was a time that I thought Yuhi was underrated and I really enjoyed Yuhi. But the more that it went on, the more that he said things that sounds like things that Yuumu would say instead. And it just felt like Yuhi was, unintentionally or not, overshadowing everybody. And as for Yuumu, if she keeps up her trajectory, I think I got no problem keeping her in A tier. The last couple of episodes really helped with that, but I think overall, it's been kind of rough for Yuumu. There have been times that she's had good development, but there have been times that it's been rough for her. But depending on where the show goes next with her, considering she's not on the season 3 poster, I don't know what's going to happen. And on that note, Zuijo looks lonely in S tier, so from A tier, I'm going to take... Actually, I was thinking about putting Goha Yuna in, but considering that her actions in the most recent seasons have been kind of selfish, to say the least, makes me not want to put her in that tier. So I think this is fair. And then when the show's done, I can revisit this and see if things have changed, if things have stayed the same, and see where everything goes. But if you enjoyed, hit that like button down below, subscribe if you haven't, let me know if you're watching Go Rush, where you would place all these characters, and I'll see you next time. Momentai.